everybody. This is Angela, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Marin. You've got episode 95, where we October check in. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but first, we just wanted to say hi to all of you. Thank you all for being here. We're so glad you're here.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
And if you are new, which many of you are, I think, welcome. And we just wanted to tell you a little bit about our podcast. We've been doing this for almost 2 years now.
Yes.
Wow, time has flown.
Yep.
And we really put this podcast together because we wanted to be a voice for changing the conversation of homeschool, and we wanted you to take things off of your plate instead of continuously, feel like you're adding things to your plate. Yeah.
Right.
So,
and I think a lot of homeschool parents can feel like not good enough or apprehensive about what they're doing, or you might feel like you should be doing more. We all can feel like that sometimes, or
absolutely.
a lot of times. I think there's a lot of doubt that comes in when you decide to
Yes.
homeschool. And so we want to help calm your fears and quell that doubt that you are doing a great job.
Exactly. We want to be that voice inside your head that's telling you, you've got this. You're doing a great job. Your kids need you, who you are. And if you can get back to that, it's going to be such a gift for everybody. So.
Right. And a special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you would like to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. So Marin, how are you doing?
Yes.
How was your morning?
Good. It's always busy, before hopping on here to start a podcast. But so it started out, actually, my day started out this morning. I was supposed to have a physical therapy appointment at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I got there and my therapist was out sick. So,
Oh, no.
and apparently they tried to call while I was driving, but I have this special, do not disturb, don't call me while I'm driving.
Yes.
Feature on my phone, which is great, except for those situations.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So can't you see somebody else since you're there, or?
No, I mean, it's kind of like you have an appointment with a specific therapist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, I know. So, which, I was fine with. I got to listen to my audiobook for like a long time.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm listening to Busy Phillips' autobiography.
I know.
It's great.
That is so exciting. I have not started it yet because I am still finishing. I'm listening to the Notorious RBG
Oh, yeah.
about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
And as soon as I'm done, I'm starting Busy's.
Mm. Yeah, it's fun to listen to.
Good.
I mean, but I have to tell you, though, I will just put in here, she is talking a lot about her youth and her teenage years.
Yeah.
And they were so angsty. It's a little bit, it's taking me back to that time. And I felt a lot of those same. I didn't live her life for sure. Different lives. But it's almost hard for me to go back and have those feelings again.
Wow. I was just thinking when you said she's talking a lot about her youth, I'm like, yes, that's what I wanted. I am so glad. I was hoping she would. I can get into that youth angsty stuff. I like that.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to love this then. I want to hear more about Dawson's Creek. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I want to know about.
Because when she was a young teen, she wasn't acting.
No. She was just acting in school.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so how about you? What have you been up to today?
Let's see. I took my kids for a walk. We have this great woods area across the street from our house. I'm so grateful. Mm-hmm. And it's fall, so it's just beautiful. So we did that. I made them all go with me. Normally I go by myself and I ask them if they want to come and they say no. Always. So today I was like, no, we're all going for a walk this morning.
It's so beautiful today.
I know. It is so beautiful out. Why would they not want to go with me?
I know.
So I'm going to start making them because everybody needs it.
Good.
So we did that. We listened to Julie Bogart's live, her Instagram live.
Did you and your whole family do that? Did you all listen?
No, I did.
Yeah.
And then I just had to stop every once in a while because my kids were needing me. So
yes, yeah. So what were your kids doing while Julie was?
Wow.
Driving?
They were all doing math.
Oh, good.
And they do them like on their separate devices.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
my son does Prodigy on his own.
Yep.
My daughter does her own on the computer, and then my other daughter does her own on CTC Math.
Okay.
But they all
great.
have questions. Like they're all doing it at the same
course.
time, and I'm just like answering their questions, kind of.
Right.
Helping them with their problems.
So my kids were all individually working on these Kiwi Crates.
Oh,
well,
nice.
They're not all Kiwi Crates. They're from Kiwi Company.
Yep, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so there's all these different ones, and my in-laws sent 4 of them to us, which is just like
thank you,
amazing. I know, so exciting. So we pulled those out today, but it was a little bit of a mistake because I really wanted to focus on Julie's Instagram stories, where she announced, how to be on her launch team.
Yep.
Super exciting. I cannot wait.
I know.
But, those Kiwi Crates, they can get a little bit intense.
Can they? Do your kids need help with them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because my oldest are the only ones who do those, really. My younger one doesn't do them. But maybe that's because he needs help.
I think that's probably wise. Maybe it's wise. I don't know. But either that or just, I think my expectations have to be a little different when it comes to like how much of the project are you going to finish? Because there's sometimes 3 or 4 things you can do. And you just have to be like, okay, it's fine. Just do whatever you want to do here, and then we'll move on. It's fine.
I have to hide those when they come in the mail because otherwise my kids want to do them right now. Like whatever they're doing when they come in the mail, they want to do them right now. So I hide them, and now my kids are on to me like, do you have any of those hidden? Because I want to pull them out like
when you need to.
When I need to.
Yes.
Because they really occupy my kids' time for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll get easier and easier, but and they're all different grades.
Ages.
They're all they're all geared to different ages. So we try to even it out a little bit with their ages, but yeah. I think we need a little update here, Angela. My loving this week last week was A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
And I really wanted you to go see it.
Actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
okay.
I know. It's been a long time.
Have you seen it yet?
Finally, yes, I did last night.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
I wanted to text you so bad. I don't know why I didn't. I was trying to come up with the perfect text. Like
after that movie.
I know, and then I couldn't do it justice. Yeah. It was so good.
I know.
It blew me away. Lady Gaga did awesome. She did, but honestly, I thought Bradley Cooper was just as good.
He was so good. Oh my gosh.
The acting.
Yeah.
And the story. It tugged at my heartstrings. That's just what I loved so much about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The entire thing.
Yeah.
Was just
every part about it. See, and like I said, I'm not big into the drama is just hard for me to deal with. I'm a 7. I'm an Enneagram 7. Yeah. 7s don't like to go into deep, dark places.
So is that because
it's too sad?
It's too sad.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so many other positive things to focus on in the world.
Yeah, but a lot of people are dealing with that. It's so common.
It's just it is true. I think it's very healthy. It's just I have a hard time. I just have a hard time with it.
See, I was just like, so many people are gonna see themselves or people they love in this movie, and that is so good. It's just
it is great.
We need to tell stories like that.
Yeah. Lady Gaga is just my new favorite.
Yeah, I can see why. I was singing along all morning, but I didn't have any time to look up the songs.
Now, your sister told me after that episode, your sister told me that I should watch the Lady Gaga documentary on Netflix.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Was it good?
Yes.
Okay, I need to watch it.
It's really good. But again, she's so, she has this dramatic side to her. which is her strength. It is her strength. It's what like has brought her to this place that she is right now.
Yeah.
It's just like hard for me to go there sometimes. So like I needed to watch a comedy afterwards.
Okay.
I just needed to laugh for a little while before I went to bed after that. But it was great.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I like to sit and think about all that sadness for a while.
Oh my gosh.
After I watch that.
You're so not a 7.
No, I'm a 6. I don't know if that's a quality of a 6, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, also as an ISFJ, you're very into harmony and just like you just want to relate, you know, like very much want to understand and relate.
Yeah, and I
relate to
think I'm
people.
just a big feeler.
Yeah.
Really strong feeler.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. And I think I'm probably on the Myers-Briggs. I am an F, a feeler, but also
not
I
as
might
strong
be
as me.
less strong. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have not seen A Star Is Born, do yourself a favor and see it. Or when
And
it
if
comes
you-
out, you have to see it.
And if you have seen it, let's talk about it. I want to talk about it with people.
Oh. Yeah, I cannot. I was trying to remember which movie do I like better than this that I've seen ever.
Ever.
I
know.
I can think of a couple that are like on par, but
Were you, I mean, maybe because you knew it was going to be a different movie. Like, I know that I even mentioned it doesn't go down the storyline you think it's going to go down necessarily.
well, I thought about that the whole time, and I was like,
Okay,
what was she thinking? What should I be thinking? Like, I was evaluating, like, what you were talking about when you said that.
Oh, I'll tell you after this. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm not going to ruin it, but yes. Let's see, this is why we need to talk
I know.
about it.
So, okay.
Okay.
Let's move on. We are doing our
Yes.
October check-in. We're doing this once a month.
Yeah.
We're just going to check in with each other, see how things are going. This is where we're going to talk about one thing that's going well, one thing that needs tweaking. We're going to do a self-care check-in, and then we're going to do a listener question.
And we really, really appreciated doing this over the summer. This was kind of our summer schedule.
Yep.
And it was so helpful for us personally. And then also we got a lot of feedback that it was helpful for other people. I think just processing our regular days together can be very, very powerful.
Yeah. One thing we do hear a lot is people want to hear more about our daily stuff.
Our daily life. Yeah. What are we doing on a daily basis? Just a regular mundane, day. So here it is. So Angela, do you want to start out with what is going well?
Okay. So, I wanted to pick something specific because, we've done this enough times. And so I'm trying to come up with, it's actually really good because I'm trying to think about, it's forcing me to think about what is going well beyond the obvious.
Beyond the general.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one thing that's going really well this year, like very well, is my 8th grader, who's 13, is taking an algebra class through a local homeschool co-op.
Yeah.
And I asked her if I could talk about this. She said, yes, please. She's fine with this. She is loving it so much. And we were really hesitant to do it. Like, I am really hesitant to commit to something like on the schedule, especially just for one kid.
Yes.
Because I think, well, I'm gonna have to drive that kid there and pick the kid up, and what are the other ones gonna do while they're gone? And it's just like, it's a disruption to your day. And so so it's always hard for me to commit. And I thought, well, what if she doesn't like the class, and what if she doesn't, what if it's not a good fit for her? And you just have to try, basically. But she, she's getting older, and she was wanting a bigger challenge in math. And I think by bigger challenge, she means like somebody giving her homework. She really wanted like somebody else to give her hard problems that she had to work on.
Yes.
I think when it's your mom, it's, you don't have to work as hard. Probably.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And there is something about even wanting to not have a way out of it.
Right.
Like with your mom, you could be like, well,
We've been busy this week, Mom.
We've been busy. Let's just not do
Yep.
math today. And I'd be like, sure,
Yep, right.
let's not.
Totally. Yes. And so she really wanted more accountability. She wanted somebody to push her. And so we signed up for this algebra class. She's in 8th grade. And I thought, is she even ready for algebra? Is this going to be a good, is this good timing wise, And so anyways, we signed up and it has been awesome. Now, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. She, after the first, I got a teacher email telling us what the requirements were going to be for homework. It's 1 hour of homework a day for 4 days. So she does the class one day and then she has homework 4 other days that takes at least an hour.
When you saw that, were you like,
I was like, okay. I was like, Jeremy, I don't know. I think we should this is going to be too much. I didn't know it was going to be this much homework. I thought it would be like a little bit
backpedaling.
I know.
Getting out of here. No.
I know. And I was really worried about it. And then we thought, okay, no, we're going to try it for semester. We'll just try it.
Good for you.
She is loving it. She is loving the homework. She is loving that she has to do homework.
That is amazing.
I know. And it's challenging her, which she likes. When there's a hard problem, she likes that challenge. And she likes, she emails the teacher sometimes questions. And I don't know. I think it is a great step towards.
That is such a great.
A more intense schedule as you get older. It's a great step.
That's a great experience. I mean, just even having to email the teacher.
Oh yeah.
It is such an important skill. I've said several times on this podcast, even when I was in college and people were telling me, please, all the professors are like, please email me, call me. Here are my office hours. I'm just hanging out in my office. This is what I'm here for. I'm getting paid to do this. I want to help you. I mean, there's a writing center. There's all these resources. I never took anybody up on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just
totally
to know, just to have that experience as an 8th grader.
Yeah.
To email a teacher and personally get an email back it just creates this memory that I can trust people who are who are teaching me and who are, they want to help me.
Right. And it's good. She now has to check her email all the time because she's getting emails from this teacher. So it's great. It's good.
Oh my gosh.
It is creating good responsibility.
It's awesome.
Because she doesn't want to go to class without having her homework done, so she's
right.
Oh, I got to do my math today.
Right.
It's just really great.
So I'm wondering, would she say that she wants to keep doing this class or is this semester enough for her?
No, it's actually a year-long class,
but
you register for as a semester at a time.
Gotcha.
And so, no, she wants to keep doing it for sure.
That's awesome.
I know. And maybe she wants to even do more classes, next time.
Yeah,
We'll see. So it's been good.
Great.
How about you, Marin? What's going well for you?
Okay, so first of all, I just have to give a backstory. If you didn't listen to September's check-in, I did talk about how I was really micromanaging and getting super stressed out about getting things done or whatever. So I feel like what's going well for me is that I'm chilling out.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's making me so happy.
What caused you to chill out? And everyone else. Was it talking about it that caused you to realize?
I think that was a big part of it. Yep. And then just reading, I would read Julie Bogart's book, The Fall.
Gracious Space.
Gracious Space. Those kind of things. Oh, my goodness. I had a turning point when we interviewed Renee Tuga.
Oh, yeah.
There was something that clicked in my brain. Yeah. When we were talking to her and I felt it, I really physically probably felt it. I just felt I need to change my way of thinking right this second. And I did. Yeah. I just have got to chill out about this.
Yeah. I could tell that something clicked with you because you talked about that a lot after.
I did. I talked about it a lot and it did. I changed. I really my whole frame of mind changed. So, that's why it's so important to hear from people who have gone ahead of you and, who've gone ahead of us and who are very wise.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Helped. But also, I had that, I had a work plan, or we still do. I started just doing a work plan for each kid. And I think that helped because just for the time, it was so good because it just whittled everything down to a few things that needed to get done. And then I just wasn't going to worry about anything else. And it helped me just kind of clear my mind.
Yeah.
About the million other things I could have had them all do all day long.
You were kind of focusing on a few things rather than being overwhelmed by all the things. Yeah. Good.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Yeah. So it does feel good. But, I think it's waves. It comes in waves for me. Like I can tighten up and tighten up and tighten up. And then kind of like something happens and I'm like, okay, I got to chill out again. And it happens over and over again. But now I'm learning what I need to help me let go of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Should we move on to what needs tweaking?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Angela, how about you? Do you want to start?
Sure. Okay.
What needs tweaking?
So, I am realizing this has been a long, slow realization process for me.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you already probably are there. But for me, this has taken so long. I have a son. So I have girl, boy. Okay. They're 13, 11, and 9. And they all need lots of physical activity. But my 9-year-old son needs like a lot of physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
Like going for a walk for half an hour is not enough. Like that does not cut it. He could be like exercising, working hard, running hard for like 2 hours. That would be ideal for him.
Totally.
And I didn't really get that. Like I knew he needed physical activity, but I didn't really get how intense it is. He is so much happier and like works so much better and has better relationships with everybody if he gets that activity.
Right.
So I need to prioritize that like more than academics.
Wow.
I need to prioritize that. And so I have been slowly coming to this realization. And when you talk about when I think about prioritizing that over academics, that is like, that's a lot. That's really huge. That is a lot for me to think about. Like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that?
Right.
And so I've been trying to do that, but I need to do a much better job. I need to do a much better job. So like things I've been trying to do are, my sister has a son. She has 2 kids. She has 2 boys, which, okay, this is the other thing. Like I'm looking at people with 2 boys or 2 boys who like to have lots of physical activity together. And I'm a little bit jealous because I think that would be perfect. If
they have each other.
If he had a built-in wrestle buddy.
Yeah.
That would be awesome because his sisters don't want to wrestle with him.
Sure.
And so anyways, my sister has 2 boys, and if we can get together with them some days and like let the kids wrestle, let the kids play football. They like to play football. That is what he really needs. And they'll do that for over an hour. They'll like run hard and do that over an hour.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And so that's one thing I've started to do. I think we're going to join the Y. I know I've been talking about that, but I think we are, because if he can go there and like swimming is so good.
Oh my gosh.
Kids swim so hard.
Really is. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I decided when we were on vacation last week, and we swam like for 5-6 hours a day.
Yeah.
Everybody was very tired.
Yeah.
So happy.
Yeah.
And slept so well. And I just thought, this is what our kids need every day.
Yeah.
They need that much activity.
Totally. So it is, but it is such a challenge to figure out how to fit that in. It is such a challenge for me.
But when you think about it, if we really realized how much, and I don't think we totally do yet. Some people do maybe, but we do not think about this, about how much we learn, how much better we learn.
How much better?
Does that make sense?
How much better?
Yes. How much better we learn when we are getting what we need physically.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like if we knew that really deep down, it would be like drinking water or, I
feel like it is
bathing or something, like we do all that stuff. We do all the other necessary things.
Right.
But sometimes we just don't think about that physical.
Right. And
activity.
he, like, I think I thought, like, he could just, like, get that on his own, like, being
Yeah.
outside. But you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
other people
Yeah.
to
And
play
he
with
does
you.
especially, I think,
Yeah, he's an extrovert. He needs other people. And I think I thought that's what it was for a while. Like, he just needs to be around other people. He does need that, and he needs the physical activity, probably even more.
Right, right.
Like, we bought a trampoline, and I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. This is going to cure everything.
Yeah,
My kids are going to jump on that thing all the time. And they did that for the first week or two, and now they're over it. And, like, nobody wants to go out there and jump by themselves.
Yeah.
So everybody has to be with, and it has to be fun. And that just is not happening.
Sure.
So anyway, I just had a thought when you were talking about the Y. I was thinking, maybe we should just do that every morning.
Yeah.
Start our day, like, go to the Y and go swimming.
Well, the only thing, yeah, I know. The only thing is they have specific swim times, open swim times. So
and it's not in the morning.
Just FYI, it's not in the morning. We just joined the Y too, and we did it for that reason. I mean, the great thing about it is if you have kids the right age, they can do so much at the Y on their own.
Yeah.
And that really made some of my kids very happy because when you're homeschooling, you're with your kids a lot. You're just with your kids a lot. And I just feel like the Y is just, it's an enclosed place. You know, they have freedom and yet
right.
There's a few places they can be, you know, you can find them and then they can go, they can swim, they can do all these other things. So
your kids just kind of go, they swim, then they get into their clothes and they go to the gym or...
They can. We've only been doing it for a while and then we were on vacation. So I think 2 weeks. So we've mostly been swimming.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much we've just been swimming and it's been great.
Yeah.
It'd be really great if you were there with us.
Yeah.
Even better.
I think we're going to have to do that. So anyways, that definitely needs tweaking now that I've had this realization.
Yeah.
And maybe next month you can ask me how that's going because I need some accountability there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
what needs tweaking for you, Maren?
Okay, so I really liked your idea. You know, what in one of our Patreon episodes, you were talking about your, what was it? Like your plan, your year-long plan? Your master plan.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear more about that, join Patreon, and that's a great discussion that we had in there. But I was thinking, I really want to do something like that. And, you know, I have these daily work plans for my kids. I do not want to overdo it with that because I think there's just a very fine balance.
Yeah.
It's a very fine balance, especially for me because, you know, as I'm an ENFP, I'm an Enneagram 7. And when you put those things together, too much constraint is very difficult for me.
Yep.
But then, you know, like I said before, when I didn't have anything planned, then I was just kind of flailing around and getting stressed out like, we have so much to do today. And I couldn't even think of what it was. We had so many things, you know.
Yeah.
So there is just this fine balance, and I don't think I figured it out yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I personally don't, you know, I make lists all the time, but I never go back and look at them. So it's just, I'm learning how to use my personality as a strength, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just, I have not gotten there yet. I haven't not gotten there yet. I'm working on it, and I think it's possible. It's possible. It's just, you know, I'm figuring it out still.
Yeah.
How much planning needs to happen before every day. And it's not my strength to plan, really.
So are you saying you want a master homeschool plan? Kind of like what I did?
I think I'd like it. Yeah. Maybe a very loose one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of having something very loose that doesn't have to actually happen, but
yeah,
you know, it's more of just, I can look back at it if I want to remember what I want to do.
Right.
You know, on a weekly basis or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're
just trying to figure out like how much planning you need, how much planning is too much. Mm-hmm. And it's probably changes.
It does. Yes.
With the season. So that's
and it changes as my kids get older too, for sure. Because, when my kids were younger, it was, planning just, it was almost unnecessary at all, really, because my kids were never great at following those, work plans or whatever. Now I have especially my 11-year-old is just, she needs that. She needs that every day. And so, I have to keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
What they need. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to self-care?
Yes. All right. Yes, let's do that. How about you? Do you want to start first, Angela?
Okay. So I think I was trying to jot down some notes about how my self-care is going.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think I'm doing pretty well in general, because I feel like my health has demanded it.
Yeah.
And that is because for so long I didn't even think about self-care or prioritize it.
Yeah.
And then I started to have some health problems. And I'm not saying it's because I wasn't taking care of myself. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I don't think they were completely correlated. But I think once I started having some health problems, I realized I have to make this a priority. I have to.
It's not a choice. Yeah.
It's not, it wasn't even a choice. Yeah.
Yep.
And so,
that's when it doesn't feel selfish anymore. Like, sometimes we can think self-care is just selfish, even though it's not. But when you are having these health problems, it's like, no. Your perspective completely changes on it.
And the problem with that is the issue with that is that, like, if you're not having health problems, then you might think, well, I'm not really having any health problems, so it might be necessary for Angela because she has to.
Right.
Or I might think, like, it's necessary for me because I have health problems, and once I don't anymore, then it's just selfish.
Right.
And the other thing is, like, I think when I turned 40, I also was like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, I don't, I learned how to care about myself in a way that was important. Like,
even
I realized,
it looks selfish or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Like, I don't care. I have to do this.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I have been doing a pretty good job, mostly because it keeps me feeling good.
Yeah.
It keeps me feeling good. So I have to.
Yeah.
So, I would just challenge everybody listening. And I know we've heard from people after we've done these self-care check-ins that people are thankful that it's giving them a chance to reflect. So that's what I'm hoping you do, is just take this minute to reflect on yourself and how is your self-care going, and don't let it get to the point where you have some health problems or aren't feeling good, because stress causes so many health problems.
Oh my goodness.
It causes all the health problems.
I was just talking to my husband last night about how our last move, I think, was instigated a lot of my health issues.
My gosh.
Yeah. And I was like, so next time we move, like, we have to do things differently, just FYI. Because
oh my gosh. Yes.
We have to make things easier.
Our last move happened like in the height of my issues. And I was telling my husband, I think that's what made it so hard. Like, that's why I was so sick, was because we were moving.
Yeah.
Even though I consciously knew that, and I consciously was trying not to do much.
I know.
And
I know.
The other thing, I think, is, like, knowing myself. Yeah. So I'm an extreme introvert, and my husband is, like, an extrovert. He's an extrovert. Yeah. And on the weekends, he wants to do fun things, like, and he wants to do projects around the house. That is where he shines. And I think for a long time I felt like I should be doing that too. Sure. Because those are good things. Doing projects are great. I don't want to be lazy and not do projects. And like having fun, doing fun things all the time.
With your family.
That's what bad could you say about that? Like, and I should probably do that.
Did you think I should be making these good memories with my family?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because especially if he's doing a fun thing with the kids and I'm not with, that makes me feel bad. Yeah. So anyways, I think I realized probably a year ago, I need to be myself. And myself needs a break on the weekend. Because I've worked hard all week. And so I need to, like, lay around and read and, like, go for a walk. And maybe do 1 or 2 fun things.
That is so great.
And he doesn't. Like, if he were to lay around on the weekend, that is not where he shines. Like, he would feel awful doing that, know? And so, like, I want him to shine in his own area, and me too, but we're trying to figure out how that works together. And I used to
Right.
feel bad that I wasn't doing what he's doing.
Sure.
Now I'm like, nope, this is me and this is what I need. So I need to
Ugh.
do this.
Good for you.
So those
Good
are the
for
things.
you.
Those are, I just wanted to share my epiphanies.
I think that could be, I mean, we could talk about this more on a completely different episode. But I mean, that takes a lot of a wisdom in your marriage too, because when you've been doing things the same way for so long, and then to change things up, like those important things, those are important things to him, you know?
Yeah.
And to kind of shift that's like a big shift. Like,
Right.
I just want, you know, like, I'm just imagining that conversation. This is not, I have to change this. I have to change this big, important part of our family on the weekends. I mean, that's way to go. I mean, and I think I can imagine it being tough. We've gone through, I mean, I think every marriage has gone through, you know, shifts like that. And it's just, it's tricky to manage all of that.
It was very tricky because it started off with me like, why are you making me do all this stuff? I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what? I'm, you know, so
he's like, I'm not making you this. You get to do this.
Yeah.
This is fun.
This is what families do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We own a house. We do projects.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
One thing, you know, like we had to have a conversation about weekends. This is off the topic kind of, but
that's okay. It's helpful.
It is helpful, I think, because, you know, Sean especially, he is kind of like that too, even though he's an introvert, but he likes to have full family activities to do all weekend long.
The whole family.
Yeah, the whole family. And you know, in his mind, I mean, I think he's thinking, well, the kids are home all week, so we should go out and do things together as a family. And this is part of homeschooling, except just on the weekends, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking, we've been together all week. Like, can we split up here? Can I take 2 kids and you take 2 kids and we just like kind of decompress for a little bit? And even when Sean takes all 4 of the kids to give me a break, which is so nice, I so appreciate it. It's hard because the kids, again, have been together all week. They need time away from each other sometimes on the weekends. Oh, because when it's just me and the kids all week, they don't really have a choice. We're together. That's just the way it is. But on the weekends, we have a choice. So, you know, it takes a lot of communication.
I think that is really a tricky part of homeschooling. I think all homeschoolers right now are probably identifying in some way.
Definitely.
It is a universal thing. I
would love to hear so we have this Facebook group called Unrefined Homeschoolers. This would be a great thing to talk about in there. I would love to process through this with other people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Maren.
Yes.
How's your self-care going?
Okay, so great, actually. I think physical therapy is really helping me.
Good.
Which, you know, I was very annoyed that I had to go do it because it's just like little muscle movements, which is not my favorite, but I'm feeling stronger and healthier. So that's great. And also I'm realizing, you know, I've been choosing to take walks in the evening as my kids are getting ready for bed. And it's been the best thing.
Perfect timing.
It is the perfect timing. Think about it. Think about it, everyone. So, and this is, I think it started with me doing that out of frustration because, you know, there's always this time between, okay, the kids have to go, you know, brush their teeth and put their pajamas on, and then you wait.
I know.
Sometimes wait and wait.
And
sometimes they find a million other things to do, right? Well, my husband, Sean, would often just go lay down in bed or something and like watch a YouTube video or something or read an article or something. And I'd be like, help me out here, you know? And he'd be like, well, listen, the problem is the more attention we give them, the more they want to just like stay up and hang out. And he's right. The more we were even just bugging them to get ready for bed, the more they stayed up. And so now what happens is we like turn out like almost all the lights. Sean goes and lays down. I go for a walk. The kids aren't getting attention anymore. You know, they don't get to keep talking to us. They don't get us anymore.
So you're not tucking them in?
Yeah. Once they're ready for bed, then we tuck them in. But like, it was just we were feeding this fuel, or fueling the fire, I should say. And it was just not working for us. So Sean is basically, you know, like helping minimally as needed, right? And then I often will be going for a walk, and which I just love because I just think I am missing out on this. You know, I would be there even if I were laying in bed, you know, watching something or reading something. I'd be thinking and frustrated and being like, why is nobody going to bed? Sean can just shut off his mind to that. So, you know, it does not stress him out as much as it stresses me out. So I go for a walk. When I come home, everybody's either in bed or like just waiting to say goodnight to me. And then they go to bed.
Do they come and tell you, Mom, I'm ready to be tucked in now? Or do you just know they're in bed and you go in there?
No. Well, usually what they do is we just say goodnight to each other now. We have like a special thing that we say to each other, and it's not even in bed anymore.
Oh, they just come in and do it.
Yeah.
They tuck themselves in.
Yep. Kind of. We give each other like a little blessing and, you know, whatever. And then when they come to me.
Yeah.
And we do that. And then they go to bed now.
Wow.
Sometimes my youngest, I mean, and I should say, sometimes it happens that way. Either that or they go to bed. Sometimes they're just in bed and then we go say goodnight to them. I don't know how we decide how that happens, but
nice.
I think the later it is, the more they have to come to us.
I like how you just turn off the lights. I'm going to tell Jeremy that today.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of our problem.
Yeah.
Is we're wondering why they're still getting snacks and like talking and wrestling. I'm like, it is bedtime. We told you that. But if you turn off the light and go to bed yourself.
Yeah, and it's not like a hard and fast rule. Like nobody, you know, the lights are off, nobody talks anymore. It's not like that. It's just like,
yeah, no, I get it.
You know, we're shutting down. Just FYI. Just FYI.
Right. Okay.
So
great.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our listener question.
Yes.
So we have a bank of questions kind of that we've gotten from people over time, and we have a list of them. And so we've picked one. If you have a question for us, please send it in, either DM us or email us or something. And we will add it to our list of questions, and maybe we'd get to it next month.
Yeah. We'd love to hear.
So this question just says, what are your thoughts on co-ops?
Which you kind of answered a little bit. I mean,
well, yeah.
You talked about that one example.
Do you want to
add anything else?
Well, okay. So, I mean, I have lots of thoughts on co-ops.
Yeah.
I think they can be so good in some ways, and they can also be so challenging in some ways. And so it's really an individual thing. Like, I would never say, oh, co-ops are bad or co-ops are great, because I think it is all about finding the right fit for you and your child.
Exactly. I was going to say I have a love-hate. I love them, and I think I might hate them a little bit.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I think if I found the perfect fit, it would be great. Yeah. It would be great. I would love it. But there's always, you know, they're co-ops for a reason. There's more work to do for the parent, usually. Even if it's just driving the child there, or
oh my gosh,
that's more work, you know. But usually it's more than that. Like, you have to participate in some way, you have to help out in some way, so that is more work, and you have to weigh, like, is this worth it for me? But so I personally, we don't have like a co-op that we've gone to for years where we've built relationships with people over a span of time, and I do kind of wish we had that. So I am a little bit jealous of people who have that community. So I think if you have that, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess I would kind of reiterate the same thing. I mean, I love the idea of a co-op, especially if it really lines up. I think I've said this a lot on the podcast, that I might be a little bit picky about these kind of things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would want a co-op that really kind of lines up with some of my philosophy of learning and stuff like that. And I think that's very hard to find. I haven't found it yet, so it'll be, you know, but I think as my kids get older too, that might not be quite as important, that it lines up exactly with what they need. I don't know. We'll see. But I love the idea of having a strong community. That would be, I mean, that would be my biggest reason.
Yeah. You know, when Renee was on our podcast last week, a couple weeks ago, and she talked about that for her kids and how valuable that was, I was a little jealous. I was like, yeah, I wish we had that, especially as my kids are getting older.
Yeah.
Because for my kids, a lot of their friends have left homeschool and are going to public school.
Yeah, and I think the older kids get, the more that's important to them.
The more it's important, and so I am definitely on the hunt.
Yes.
For the perfect co-op.
Yep.
Or for a co-op, not the perfect.
On the other hand, I think it has to work out. It just, like you said, it has to work out with your schedule and your commitment level.
Yeah.
Because sometimes co-ops require a lot of you too, the parent. So,
yeah.
We tried last year. We ran a co-op last year.
Yeah, we started one because we, couldn't find the perfect one out there. And we're like, well, let's just start it. And, in some ways it was very successful because it was what we wanted. But because we were running it, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're running the co-op and we've got a podcast and we're homeschooling. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
So if somebody else could run the co-op that we started, that would be amazing.
DM us.
Yeah, because running a co-op is a lot of work. And so I have a lot of respect for people who do that. It's a lot.
Well, and that's another thing, I think, why we kind of ramped up our Adventure Co this year.
Yeah.
Last year was just you and I going out on hikes together, and this year we've invited some people to come, to come with us, and that's been great.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of taken the place of a co-op, and it's been easy. Like it's not running a co-op; it's just we meet up and go for a walk.
Yeah. Or play.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Thank you for that question. Like I said, if you have questions, please send them in. We would love to hear them. Sure. Let's move on to loving this week.
Yes. Angela, what are you loving this week?
Okay, so I am loving something called the Our Story app.
Okay.
It's from We Need Diverse Books. Do you know about We Need Diverse Books?
Yeah.
Okay. So We Need Diverse Books is I think it's a nonprofit coalition of people.
Yeah.
Coming together to highlight and, give voice to books for diverse books. And that can be in any way. It can be any kind of diversity in the book. And so I really like them because I like to try and hunt down diverse books for my kids. I think it is the best way to learn about people. Not the best way. Probably the second best way to learn about people who are different from us.
Yeah.
Aside from interacting with them.
Yeah, and sometimes the best way that you can. I mean,
the best way that I can right now.
Yeah.
So, they have a website, We Need Diverse Books, and I would go on their website and kind of hunt around and try and find book titles and then use the library to check them out from the library. But it was kind of, I don't want to say clunky because they did a great job, but there was no database of the books. It was just you had to kind of search around for different titles. And they were all mixed ages, mixed types of diversity, they were kind of all over the place. Well, they created this app and it's called the Our Story app. And it's not on iOS or Android yet. But the app, they're calling it an app and it's on a desktop. Ooh. They said the iOS and the Android are coming. So I think it's brand new. But you just go in and it says, what kind of books do you want? And you can put the ages of your kids, do you want a chapter book or a picture book?
Oh my gosh.
Do you want books about Somali Americans? You put that in. Do you want books that celebrate holidays? Or I don't know. There are so many categories.
Oh my gosh.
That part was kind of overwhelming because there were so many categories.
Yeah.
But I mostly checked all. I'll take all of them. And then at the end, it just gave me this huge list. It just went on and on and on. And I just started reserving them from the library.
Oh my gosh.
One by one.
So awesome.
Yeah, and I found a lot of great books this way, and this is what I have needed. This is what I've been wanting, and so I'm really happy for them.
So what is it called again?
Our Story.
Is it just ourstory.com?
It's
or
well, okay. Let me look.
Sorry.
It's it is from, so it's ourstory.diversebooks.org, but if you go to We Need Diverse Books, you can find it.
okay.
And then there's like find a book, and you just click on that. Now there is a membership.
Okay.
You can become a member to get more stuff, and I don't even know what, because I've just done the free.
Okay.
I've just done the free one.
Wow. But sounds like you get a lot with the free one. Just a
Yeah,
lot
like
of
I
help
don't
and
know what
guidance.
more I could get.
Yeah. Wow.
So
I'm
yes,
very glad this is going to be an app.
I know. Like I think
mean,
it's in development. So like the first question is, like, do you want babies, toddlers, picture book, early chapter book, or middle grade?
Oh my
And then you
gosh.
pick one. Like I picked picture book because I still read my kids' picture books,
That's
even
so
though they are
great.
13, 11, and 9. And then it says, what genres are you interested in? And there's probably 10 to 15 of them, like autobiography, biography, memoir, graphic novel, poetry, stuff like that. And you pick them. And then what identities and experiences are you interested in?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Disability, diverse
Wow.
family structure, LGBTQIA+, mental illness, racial, ethnic identity. Anyways, whatever.
Wow.
And then after that, what story elements are you interested in? Animals, arts, bullying, and it lists a bunch of them. So anyway, I was really happy with it. I'm really excited about it.
I'm very excited about that too. Wow.
Yeah.
And just you saying that you just now, I know you say this a lot, but when you just said it now that you read picture books to your kids still,
Yep.
it reminded me that I need to do that again.
Yeah.
And every time you say it, it reminds me.
Yeah.
But I really need to get on that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't read the young picture books. My
Yeah,
kids
but
will not. The 4 to 8. 4 to 8.
Yes.
My kids are not into that. So
There are
sometimes
just
I
so many
accidentally
good
get
ones,
one of
though.
those. Because sometimes I want to read them a 4 to 8 because it's like a good message and a good story.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll sit through it politely. But
Yeah,
there are picture books for older kids. Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
there are so many great picture books for
So
older
many.
kids. And it's not like the vocabulary is for older kids. Even the
Yes.
pictures, even
It's
the
for me.
illustrations.
It's for me.
Yes. Exactly. So
Yeah.
I want to change that about my kids. Because I think my kids think that picture books are not for them anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to change that.
Okay. What are you loving this week, Maren?
All right. So I'm loving a series on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And it is called The 90s. And it's all about the 1990s.
Wow.
Pretty simply. Executive producer Tom Hanks.
Oh.
Yep. So, I mean, really, and there's 8 episodes here. And I think the first 2 were about television. And then, every episode after that is about a different topic. Like it would be, music. Or I know one episode was all about Bill Clinton. One was about like the our wars with other countries during the 1990s and things like that. And yeah, so that's how far I've gotten. I know there's going to be one on the internet, like technology.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating. It's very well done, very well produced and things like that. So
Yeah. So I'm picturing it kind of like I don't want to say like a news show, but kind of like
I mean, it's like a documentary.
documentary. Yeah.
It's
but an
documentary style
episode
for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I just noticed, since I watched this one, then they of course let you know about other shows that you might like. There is also the 80s and the 70s.
Oh. Okay.
Crazy. So I'm interested especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in all of them.
Yes. I know.
Give me the digestible bites. So I can handle that.
Yeah. And it was kind of fun. I mean, it was fun to go down the, our memory lane a little bit and just remember all the shows and music and all that kind of stuff. So
Awesome.
And like especially with the political stuff, I was like we've talked about with what podcast were we talking about?
Slow Burn.
Oh, Slow Burn, yeah, with Bill Clinton. I mean, we were young enough so that it was on our radar, but like not.
Yeah.
It was not super important to us what was happening
Right.
with the president at that moment.
Right.
So like, I mean, to hear it in a day, in an hour,
Yeah.
what happened in the 90s politically throughout
Yeah.
the world was great for me.
Yep,
I
for
learned
sure.
stuff. I learned stuff.
For sure.
So yeah.
I was just reading to my kids from our history book this morning, young people's history of the United States. And it talked about Desert Storm. There's like a little section on Desert Storm. And I was like, wow. I mean, I was in high school, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody were to ask me, like, what was Desert Storm, I think I could probably give a sentence or two. But really, I had no idea all the stuff behind it.
Well, I know. And
Super
I
interesting.
remember feeling embarrassed that I didn't know, like I knew the countries.
Yeah.
Or I'd heard about the countries on the news, but I didn't know who was like in control of who. And,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then I was too embarrassed to ask.
Really?
Yeah, I was like,
because you should know.
I
Because
should
it's
know
on the
this.
news every night.
And I am old enough.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like old enough to know.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening.
Yes.
If you would like to find us, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We'd love to have you follow us there. We do have that closed Facebook group called Unrefined Homeschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
Please join. And there's a few questions that you have to answer to be let in. Then we'll let you in and we'll have some great conversations. And then you can go to our website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to everything that we talked about in our show notes. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.